Hey guys, my name is Rose. Welcome back to my channel. I make fragrance videos. Wow, it has been a while. Sorry guys. I will explain just very briefly at some point later in the video, but I don't want to make this intro too long. Today's video is gonna be about how to get the most out of your fragrances, how to get the most compliments, and also how to spray. The reason I decided to make this video is because, first of all, the most complimented fragrances is something that sometimes gets suggested to me, and also generally something that's very popular. And I know I will also make a video about the fragrances that have been most complimented on me personally, as well as maybe some questionnaire on Instagram as well. But today I just wanna tell you how I would use my own fragrances to get compliments. Second is I get asked quite often actually how much you should spray, like for different occasions. So I decided to combine these two things together into a video. If you're interested, then just keep on watching. So first things first, not all fragrances are created equal. So I decided to take two fragrances that, in my opinion, are representing, basically your typical fresh floral fragrance that doesn't have the best projection and longevity. And in this case, I chose Chanel Chance au Tendre, which I adore. I adore this fragrance. It is beautiful, gorgeous, just a classic fragrance that I think pretty much every woman should have, if you ask me, if you do enjoy that DNA of fresh floral, a little bit fluffy, musky, slightly powdery, a little bit citrusy, just super gorgeous, elegant fragrance, but it doesn't last that long, and I could imagine a lot of people not getting that many compliments with it. And any kind of fragrance in this direction that's more floral, fresh, and doesn't have that much projection and longevity. So this is my pick, and then I picked Delina La Rosée. I would pick Delina if I did own the full size of it. Something that is, I mean, it is a bit of a generalization, but usually niche fragrances tend to be stronger, tend to last longer, at least from my personal experience. This is obviously not always the case, but with the whole Delina range, even the fresh one, the Delina La Rosée in this instance, I find that it lasts quite well and it projects quite well. So I wouldn't spray the same. Do you know what I mean? So with Chanel Chance au Tendre, for example, how I would spray it, okay? It depends what you want. If you want the fragrance for yourself, you want it for the office, you don't want to bother anybody, you really just want something that's more intimate and that you can smell yourself, but not a whole lot of people. Maybe if someone hugs you, comes close, they will smell it, but not somebody from far away. Definitely not going to bother anyone. With this kind of fragrance, what I would do is I would spray 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just like that. This will not give you many compliments, very likely, unless it's maybe your partner or something like that, somebody that will come very close to you, because it is just not a strong fragrance and I didn't spray a lot, okay? It's the same occasion with Delina La Rosée. Don't want it to be that strong. What I will do, I will just spray probably once, twice, and maybe just a little bit more, 3 times, okay? Because this is a little bit stronger. So for an intimate projection, I would spray this maybe 4 times. I would spray this 2-3 times, a strong perfume. If you have an even stronger perfume than this, I would even spray just once or twice, okay? For something that's not that noticeable. Even though if you have a super strong fragrance, you might even actually smell it relatively well when you just do 1 to 2 sprays, okay? But generally speaking, 1 or 2 sprays with a stronger fragrance is still not going to be overpowering, like for the office or any kind of occasion where you don't want your fragrance to scream out loud, okay? Then the other situation, which I feel like is more commonly what people want to go for, or what people ask for, you know, when you're going on a date, when you want compliments. And I'm gonna put this in the same category. So date, you want compliments, wherever you want your compliments. Hopefully not in the office, because like, let's be real, like that's can be annoying, to be really honest, at least if you ask me. The same, by the way, would go for the gym. I personally don't really like those guys, for example, that spray like apparently like this, and they use the heaviest, sweetest fragrance for the gym. Guys, I do what you want, but for me personally, this is a no-go. Like, I really don't like it, and it annoys me. If I have to work out next to somebody like that, I do get annoyed. I think it's like invading my privacy, honestly. But the opposite goes for a date, okay? For a date, you want to be smelled, and you want to, if you go to a party, you know, that kind of thing, you want to be smelled. You maybe want all eyes on you or not, however you are. But if that's the case, spray a lot with this kind of soft fragrance. And I mean it, a lot. Because you know what? I'm an introvert person, okay? Well, I'm very introverted actually. I'm not, you know, I'm not loud, I'm not out there, I'm not very social. Like, I'm kind of quiet in public, okay? So, and I don't really like to stand out that much. And I don't really like to wear like super crazy clothes or super crazy fragrances. Always anyway, like sometimes if I'm having like a confident day or whatever, or if I feel like I just want to, I can handle it, then okay. But generally, I'm not the type of person. So I used to wear my fragrances like literally 1, 2, done, you know? Of course, that means that 50 milliliters, 100 milliliters will last you forever. In that case, that's great for you. But I could almost not even like smell it that much myself, and I certainly never got compliments on my fragrances, okay? It only happened when I started to spray vigorously. Vigorously, does that make sense? A lot, okay? Really, a lot, and I mean a lot. So nowadays, when I have a soft fragrance and I want other people to smell me, what I would do is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I don't even know if I'm counting right, 20, 21, 22, something like that. You might think I'm crazy, like you might think that's just obnoxious, but if you have a soft fragrance, oh, by the way, you couldn't see, I was just spraying down my whole body until the end of my body, which means the lower legs, okay? Why I focus on the upper body though, because, you know, like, nobody's gonna go down and smell your legs or your feet, usually. But I usually spray the whole way down. And let me tell you, with a soft fragrance, a soft projecting fragrance, especially like a freshy summer fragrance, it is actually not too much. I have never heard anybody complaining when I did this. In contrast, the opposite happened. I got a lot of compliments for fragrances like Chanel Chanson Tendre, which are very soft, okay? Citrusy fragrances, fresh fragrances that usually everybody always says they're weak and they don't get you compliments. I think the reason they might say that is because they don't spray enough of those fragrances. If you have a fresh citrusy fragrance, you have to just spray a lot. Aquatic fragrance, spray a lot. Anything that's soft, okay? So you just have to do that. When you have a fragrance like Delina, I have Delina, that would say now, but let's say this would be Delina, okay? I wouldn't go as crazy, but I would still spray multiple times. I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that, okay? So maybe like 12 sprays or so. This is not how I necessarily wear fragrance every single day. It really depends on my mood. Sometimes I do just a couple of sprays. Sometimes I spray a lot, but if I wanted other people to smell me, you really have to spray a decent amount, okay? Even with a strong fragrance, I would still say spray a lot, especially if you're like me and fragrance doesn't last that long on you. For me personally, I swear guys, I don't know what it is, but fragrance won't last on me. Like it just doesn't last well. Like other people will say, oh my god, this is a beast mode fragrance. On me, of course, some fragrances really do last a long time. Somehow seems always like the fragrances that I don't like seem to have that thing about them. Like for example, one fragrance that I think, like from every fragrance I've ever tried, would seem to last the longest, that I remember at least, were fragrances that I didn't like. For example, Herba Pura by Xerjoff, which I know everybody loves, but I personally cannot stand that fragrance. I don't think it smells bad per se, but it's just too much. It's actually too long lasting almost, and it's just too sweet fruity for me. Just not my DNA. Nevertheless, this is a great performer. Amazing. If you love the DNA, wow, amazing. You will not complain about performance. But for me, I really struggle with that. So another tip I would give you to make your fragrance last longer and thus get more compliments, have it smell stronger, is try to really exfoliate your skin and put moisturizer on. Because I think one of the reasons that fragrance doesn't last that well on me is because my skin is very, very dry. Like really, really dry. Like I wish I would live in a more humid climate because I know my skin would be a lot better. Like I can put lotion on like 3 times a day more or less. That's how dry my skin is, okay? So I really have to religiously use a lotion, even though I get annoyed by that, to be really honest, because I don't really like lotion that's sticky, so I'm not always the best at it. But I do notice a little bit of a difference. It does last a bit longer, okay? It's not gonna do crazy things, but it's just gonna elongate your fragrance just a little bit longer, okay? The best thing you can do obviously is use a scented lotion. You don't have to necessarily use the same scent lotion that you're going to wear, but of course that is a good idea to do. For example, the Delina line, you can use the lotion, the body lotion, and there's also a hair mist. So if you have multiple things of the same fragrance, obviously you're gonna get more compliments, you're gonna get noticed more, it's gonna be stronger, it's gonna last longer, okay? So if your favorite fragrance or the fragrance you're gonna use that day, there is a body lotion for that, there's a shower gel for that, there's a hair mist for that, and you really love that fragrance, I think it is actually really, really worth to invest in that personally. I do that as well. I don't always use even the same lotion or hair mist. I sometimes use different ones that just go along, in my opinion anyway, that are like, I usually use the same DNA, like maybe vanilla or maybe floral, or you know what I mean, like I'm not going to use two opposite things, but usually they kind of complement each other, and that will just bring out the fragrance even more, bring out some other facets, and just give you more compliments. I'm not saying do this for every single fragrance. Of course, this is not even possible because you don't get a lotion or a shower gel or shampoo, hair mist for every single fragrance there is, usually just the more popular ones. But like I said, just use any kind of scented lotion, or even if you really don't want your fragrance to interact with the lotion, just use a neutral one. It will still moisturize your skin. Your skin will still take the fragrance a little bit better, and it will last you a little bit longer. But ideally, I really like to use scented lotions, especially when I'm going out, when I'm going for a date, when I really want like completely to smell very good. Also, don't forget to spray your clothing. Be careful though, because some fragrances stain your clothes, especially if you wear white. So be careful with that. But generally, spraying your clothing with some fragrances makes it last a lot better, and also gives you a lot more compliments, obviously, because people will smell you a lot more. Sometimes I have fragrances on my clothing and it really, like, the next day it's still so strong. So that can really be a good option as well. Like if it doesn't last on your skin, try it on your clothing. You could theoretically try it on your hair as well. If you have very dry hair like me, don't do it too many times. It's obviously not that good for your hair since it has alcohol. Even though there are some that don't have alcohol, like the J'adore, parfum d'eau comes to mind. You could probably spray that in your hair. I believe it wouldn't do too much harm. Or even just a hair conditioning spray that just complements your fragrance, whatever it is you might be wearing that day or night. So yeah, I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to say today. I hope you liked the video. Please give it a like if you did like it. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video. And by the way, one thing before I leave this video, I just wanted to say that I will try to upload more regularly. I know I said that multiple times, but I will try to upload more regularly. Keep in mind that I have other things in my life as well, and to be honest, physical and mental health comes first before making videos, so that's why I'm a little bit not so on time. Anyway, I might even make a second channel about more health, mental health related, or maybe even more about like well-being, wellness, positivity, like being in peace, like mind and soul, something like that. I'm not really sure yet, to be really honest with you. I might not even do it in the first place. But yeah, that just to explain a little bit, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.